This is the Cuisinart Coffee Center Barista Bar 4-in-1 coffee maker. And I picked it up because my kitchen was turning into a parking lot of coffee gadgets. I had a basic drip brewer, a little single-serve machine for quick cups, and I was still sneaking out for espresso. I wanted one unit that could cover mornings when I need a full pot, afternoons when I just want a quick mug, and weekends when I'm in the mood to play barista with milk drinks. After a few months of daily use, I've got plenty to say about how this thing actually fits into real life. In terms of where it sits, it's that do-it-all category. That's not entry-level, but not the fancy cafe setup either. It's aimed at people like me, who want convenience without giving up the option of a 12-cup carafe. If you live with folks who all drink coffee differently, it makes sense. If you're chasing perfect latte art or industrial power, you'll want something more specialized. Let me start with the drip side, because that's how I use it most. Mornings are a set-it-and-forget-it situation. I load grounds the night before, set the timer, and wake up to a full carafe. The bold setting actually makes a difference. It slows the brew a bit and gives me a richer cup that doesn't taste thin. The keep warm plate is adjustable, which sounds minor until you realize how many machines scorch coffee. On the highest setting, it keeps the pot very hot. Too hot for my taste if I leave it for hours, so I dial it down. The brew pause works for that impatient first pour, though I usually get a couple drips on the hot plate and that little hiss reminds me to wipe it. Taste-wise, using the included gold tone filter and the charcoal water filter, the flavor is clean and consistent. If you're picky about sediment, you can still use a paper filter, but I've been fine with the permanent one. For quick cups, the single-serve side has been my afternoon go-to. It takes K-cup style pods, and I bounce between 8 and 10 ounces depending on the roast. Heat-up time is fast. I like that it just works, no fuss, though the cup clearance isn't perfect. If I want to use a tall travel mug, I take out the drip tray. If I grab a small teacup, the drop from the spout can splash. The other thing I learned quickly, clean the needles. If the top or bottom needle clogs, you get a short cup or a weird burst of grounds. A paper clip clears it in seconds, but it's one of those low-tech chores you have to remember. The espresso side is what surprised me. It takes Nespresso original line capsules and makes a legit shot with crema that looks and tastes right for a capsule system. I use the double shot when I'm making a latte, and it's plenty strong to cut through milk. The lever has a firm feel, and alignment matters. If I drop a capsule in crooked and force it, it can crush and jam. Once you get used to placing it squarely and closing with a steady push, it's fine, but when I rushed, I paid for it. Now, the steam wand. This is the part I was most excited about, and it's also the part I wrestle with. It steams milk well enough for a cappuccino, and I can make a passable microfoam on good days, but the ergonomics aren't perfect. The wand is short and sits low, so my standard 12-ounce pitcher barely fits. I have to tilt the pitcher at a weird angle to get it under there, and that makes it easy to spill. If you're serious about latte art, the limited articulation will bug you. If you just want warm, frothy milk, it does the job. Bonus, that wand doubles as a hot water tap, so I use it for Americanos and tea. It spits a bit of water before the steam dries out, so I always keep a cloth nearby. Maintenance-wise, you're managing two water areas, the big removable reservoir that feeds the pod, espresso, and steam, and the separate fill for the carafe side. I like the 72-ounce tank because I'm not refilling constantly. But because I use every function, I still end up topping it off more often than I expected. I did run into a leak from the base of that reservoir at one point. Reseating the tank and cleaning the O-ring with a bit of vinegar helped, but it showed me how much depends on that seal being perfect. I also hit the clean light loop, where it kept calling for descaling even after I ran the cycle. What fixed it for me was running a second rinse and then doing the button hold reset I found through some searching. Not ideal, but once it cleared, it stayed off. Noise is another thing to be aware of. The drip side is quiet. The espresso pump and steam push are loud. Not outrageous, but if someone's asleep nearby, they'll hear it. Compared to what I used before, this consolidated my setup. My old basic drip machine made decent coffee, but zero options, and the little single serve next to it was just okay. This replaced both and added espresso. Compared to pricier dedicated machines, especially semi-automatic espresso machines with a proper articulated wand, you'll get better steaming power and ergonomics on those, no question. If you live for silky latte art and want full control, a higher-end espresso setup is more satisfying, but then you're also adding cost and space, and probably keeping a separate drip machine if you like big pots for guests. The biggest wins for me have been convenience and variety without a row of appliances. I love waking up to a 12-cup carafe on weekdays, pulling a quick 8-ounce single serve when I'm on a call, and then making a double-shot latte on a slow Saturday. The charcoal filter makes a difference with my tap water. The bold setting gives me a punchier carafe, and that double espresso button gets me a milk drink that actually tastes like coffee. The trade-offs are real. Occasional pod jams if I'm careless, the wand positioning, and staying on top of cleaning and descaling. If you can live with those quirks, the value makes sense because it replaces multiple machines and looks like one cohesive unit on the counter. Who I think will appreciate it most. Mixed households where one person wants drip, another wants pods, and someone else wants espresso drinks. Small kitchens where space matters. Anyone who likes options without a steep learning curve. Who might want to skip it. Folks who want cafe-style steaming precision, or people who never want to think about maintenance. I'm keeping mine because it fits my routine and cleared clutter. If you've got questions about anything I didn't cover, drop them in the comments, and I'll share more about my settings and cleaning routine. If this video helped, please subscribe for more real-world gear reviews, and let me know what you're brewing on. Thank you for watching.